Welcome to KKPBT online training. We will discuss on today topic is AHA OTT platform user analysis report. So last last video we just migrate the convert the data from the import the data from the Excel to MS SQL server and create the data model in SQL server like primary key, foreign key. So today our agenda point is part 2. Agenda point is migrate the data from MS SQL server to Azure SQL and also ADLS GEN2. For example, you just ask a question: why we are using the MS SQL server and Azure SQL server? So why? What is the reason we just convert into the MS SQL server to Azure SQL or Azure SQL? You just using the Azure SQL or Smoke Flag. Same process. Snowflake DB also same process. Okay. Why? So here the MS SQL server is a on-premise. It is a on-premise. So Azure SQL or Snowflake, it is a cloud storage. So it is available only for the PC or laptops. So we can store the data from these things. But in the cloud means we can store the data in the web storages, web or online, and also we can store into the data centers. So we discussed in the ADF part. So our Azure SQL part, what is the difference between the on-premise SQL and also the cloud part. So here we will discuss into in the drive. So batch level. So we just go to the Azure, in the Azure data storages. Sorry. So in this case, so we will discuss what is Azure SQL and what is the difference between the MS SQL server to Azure SQL and how to create database. All those things we can discuss into this videos. So here the reason is there are two reasons. First one, it is a on-premise, it is a cloud, and we can store only into the data into the laptop or a PC. And we can cloud means we can store into the web or online. And there is a one more. And by using, for example, I'm using my laptop. I installed my SQL server into this laptop. Sometimes some happens, the power issue or something is problem. My laptop is crash, some damage. So that time my business was stopped. So in this case, so that cases we have to override by using of the cloud data, by using the cloud data storages, we can override those things. So in the cloud data centers, in the cloud means who are the cloud providers are providing to the data centers, different data centers. We can store the data into the multiple data centers. If in case any data center is in this problem, those anything issues or network issues or power issues, anything. So immediately the cloud portal taking the data from the other data centers. So that is the one advantages. So the less chance to backup data. So it is a more chance to backup. So if in case anything we can lose data, we can easily back up the data. So we can discuss more points into that videos. Just go and read, see that videos. Okay. Next one is coming to the point. So how to migrate the data from the MS SQL server to Azure SQL. So and also the ADLS GEN2. Here we have to copy the data from MS SQL server to one copy into the ADLS GEN2 and another copy into the Azure SQL. So why we are copying the two copies? we can use only for single. So in that Azure SQL is a cost is high comparing to the MS SQL server to comparing to the Azure SQL server is a very high cost. So and also the in that ADLS Gen 2 it is a very less cost. So that case is for the backup purpose we can copy the or migrate the data from the ADLS Gen 2. ADLS Gen 2 is the backup. Okay, and Azure SQL server it is a so we can use into the reporting purpose. And one more difference is in ADLS Gen 2 we can store only for we can store the structured data, semi-structured data, unstructured data. So all type of data we can store in the ADLS Gen 2. But in Azure SQL server we can store only for the structured data. We cannot store the any semi-structured data. It is not possible. Okay, so let's start the process. So here we require the two things. First one is, so we are using the ADF and Azure SQL and also ADLS Gen 2, Azure Data Lake Gen 2 and also the MS SQL server. So these are things. And here the we require the compulsory Azure subscription. Azure subscription. So simply I just go to the portal, Azure portal. So first we have to create a Azure Data Factory account. Then go to the here Data Factory. So in the real-time cases, as a data analyst or data engineering, he cannot create the any storage accounts. I just repeat, in the real-time cases, as a data engineering or as a data analyst, he cannot create any type of storage accounts like Azure storage account and ADF accounts. He cannot create. He just use that thing. So whatever the in the accounts they have, just as a data analyst or data engineering, he just use that thing. Okay, so just remember this one. So real-time cases, we didn't create any storage account. Actually, there is a project, they give the access to you. You can use that whatever the in that ADF account or Azure SQL account or anything, you just use. But in this case, we are using the personal type, right? That's why I can create my own. So first I create into the Azure Data Factory account, then go to the portal and create the Azure. If in case it is not available here, just type into the Azure SQL, then create resources. In the real-time cases, we didn't create any type of accounts. So then you have to click onto the resource group name. If in case not available, you have to create here. Then database name, kkpbt db1. So then create a servers, kkpbt ss. SS means server. So then I just add into the both Azure Active Directory and authentication types. In that here in this Azure SQL, in the Azure data storages, I explain all those things, whatever the Azure, how to create those things, all those things. So here I just simply created. I just add the KK username, KK. I just add the username is VK and my password. I added the password also. Then click OK. Then go to the down and click onto the development. Now we have to select the configuration type PC. You have to select the basic on demanding. Next, you have to click on the size is 0.5 GB. So here you have to estimate this cost. Then apply. So just click onto the redundancy. This topic is we discuss into the wait a second in that Azure fundamental. In that Azure fundamental, we discuss the what is redundancy. So types of blobs, what is access states, those things we discuss in this one. So come to here, just go to the networking, click onto the public access, and click on yes, yes. Click onto the next, 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 then review and create. So it can take some time to create the Azure Data Factory. So parallelly, I create into the ADLS Gen2 also. So go to the one, I just go to the one more portal. Sorry, not this one. Sorry. Just type into the storage accounts. So in the storage account, just create a new storage account. Then here I just add in the account type KKBBT Gen2, and redundancy is I select into the local standard mode. Then go to the enable into the hierarchical workspace. Then click OK. Enable the public all the networks. Okay, then click OK. Just review. Then create. So I just repeat, in the real time, we didn't create any storage accounts. We just use that accounts. So who are the that project clients, clients or team leads, reporting manager, they give the access to you. You just use the those account. You didn't create any account in the real time. Okay. It can take some time to here create this one. Okay, fine. So ADLS Gen2 is completed. Then go to the resources. Here, the data is stored in the ADLS Gen2. The full class or full details onto the in this storage. So not this. Go to the Azure data storages. Here, I explain all those things. What is Gen2, what is Gen1, and ADLS blob storage, how to connect Gen2 to Power BI. Those things I just explained here. Okay, then come to topic. So here the data is stored in a Gen2 in the containers. Go to the containers. So we can create a one container here. I just add into the backup. Only for the small letters. Okay, it is called a container. Okay, just open the container. So here I just add into the one more directory. It is a dim tables. So dimension tables, one folder. And second one is the fact table. In this case means we have to store the fact table, dimension tables into the whatever the in the dimension table, we can store that data into the in the dimension folder, and whatever the in the fact table, that information stored into the fact information. Okay, so this one also completed. So almost SQL server also it is done. Then go to the resources. Here the just go to the data query data. We can use some username and password. Then click OK. So and also we can connect this Azure SQL server to our studio here. You can connect just simply how to connect the Azure SQL server data into Azure SQL server into the MS SQL Server Management Studio. Simply you have just click onto the connect and click onto the database. Here don't select this one. Click on and go to the here and go to overview. Just click OK. So here this server name. Just copy the server name. Come to here. Just paste here and simply connect. Oh wait, not work. Sorry. So select authentication mode is SQL Server authentication. Give the login name and password. Whatever we can create a server. So that time we can select this thing. Then connect. So we have to connect the Azure SQL server in a MS SQL server. For example, here you have to create any table or anything in the particular, wait a second, it is taken this some time to loading. So here you have to select the database, take a PPT. If in case any created table or anything here, that information stored into the cloud, not into the on-premise. For example, I just create a simple table, create table ABC, ID, data type is integer. So this table stored into the cloud. Same, if you know the MS SQL server, you can simply easily handle into the Azure SQL. Both are same, but the difference is one is the MS SQL server is on-premise, and one more difference is Azure SQL server is a cloud, only for these two. So now we have to go to the query editor in that web. Just give the password here. Just click OK. Now see the tables here. So whatever the ABC step we can create into the database, that information stored into the here. Okay. So this is the first step. We can create accounts. Actually, in the real-time cases, we didn't create any account. We just use the accounts. So, and also the ADF also I created. So now we can start the work. We have to migrate all the tables from the MS SQL server to Azure SQL server. Simply, I just go to the data factory. Here I create into the simple, we just create and then give the select the resource group name and account name. Then just click on review and create. It is automatically created. Okay. So, but here I don't created anything here. Then I just open this one. Here we just open the launch the studio. Just click onto the launch studio. So it is a Azure Data Factory studio. So it is a Azure Data Factory. What is Azure Data Factory? I just tell for these simple words, ADF, Azure Data Factory. It is a ETL tool. We have to copy the data from one data source to other data source. Or simply you have to tell into the public network to private networks, and also the private network to public networks. We have to copy data from both cases. So public network means cloud, private network means on-premise, those things. So it is called ADF. ADF is a ETL tool. We have to copy those data. So here, in this case, see the Azure, in this case, ADF, we will discuss on all those, what is ADF. So whatever things we discuss into the here, whatever the parameters, all those things, joins, activities, those information. Okay, fine. Now let's start into the next one. So accounts are created. This step is migrate the data from MS SQL Server to Azure SQL Server. So first we just launch the studio. Okay, here. So it is the author symbol. Then go to the here. So here before we have to go to the topic. I just tell you one thing. So MS SQL Server, it is a MS SQL Server is a on-premise. It is a private network. Private network. Okay. But Azure SQL Server, it is a Azure SQL or ADLS GEN2. It is a cloud. Cloud. So it is a public network. Okay. So we have to copy the data from private network to public network. What IR we just used in this case? Which IR? So types of IRs available. Hello? Hello? Chepan, types of IRs, integration runtimes. Brother, much better. So we have a three IRs. First one Azure IR. Next one self-hosted IR. Self-hosted IR. Next one is a SS IR. So first we are using the Azure IR means we just migrate the data from public network to public network. So that time we use into the Azure IR. So self-host IR means we have to connect the, or we have to copy the private network to public network, and also the public network to private networks. Here, the what is the use of the IR means connection string. Sorry, connection the data source. We have to connect the data source. So here we have to the Azure IR. What happens means it is the ADF. It is a cloud and on premise. We have to this Azure IR means IR integration runtime means it is the connect the these two things on premise and also the Azure cloud. So that time we are using the integration runtime. Okay. So actually, whenever we have to connect the private network into the private networks into the Azure cloud, we are using into the Azure AR. So sorry, self-host AR. So first we have to create a linked service. Actually, we have to the create any pipeline. We just follow the some steps. I will tell one by one step. First one is step one is find defined data source and the target data source. Next, step two is create IR if you required. Next, step three is create linked service. Step four is create data set. Next one is step five is configure the create pipeline, and step six is config the activity. So we have a multiple activities. Next one is final is step seven is test. Step eight is triggers. 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 Next one is step nine is publish. So this is the steps. We have to create a pipeline or ADF pipeline. We have to create a ADF pipeline. So we have to follow the steps. So first one is defined data source or target data source. Here the what is the data source? What is data source? See this one? So MS SQL Server is a data source. Data target data source. So ADLS Gen2 one and one thing is Azure SQL 2. Okay. So data source is first one is MS SQL Server and target data source one is a Azure SQL and target data source and another one is target data set 2 is a ADLS Gen2. So those are okay. So next one, let's start thing. Go to the here. First step. So we have to define all those things. So we have a MS SQL server and we have a Azure SQL, we have a ADLS Gen2. Okay. Next one is create Azure AR. So Azure SQL server not required. It is a Azure AR. ADLS Gen2 it is also Azure AR. But MS SQL server is a integration runtime is a self-host AR. Why it is self-host AR means it is on-premise. Okay, it is a private network. Okay, so that's why we have to create a integration runtime. Go to the manage. In the manage tab, we have to see this one. So here, just click onto the new. I created into the one integration runtime. Okay, so this is the steps. So I just tell you for simply, just click onto the create and select the first one, then click on one and click onto the self-hosted IR. Then here we have to give this some name, then create. Okay, then we have to the this software we have to install the our virtual machines and also the if in case any desktop or virtual machine also we just install this one, and once that installation completed we just copy this key and paste that one. So those this Azure integration runtime we can I explain into the in the ADF part. So in the 6th class, I explained into the Azure AR. Key component is lab. I explain all those things. Okay, fine. Let's start now. So I didn't create anything. I don't want this one. I just deleted. So it can take some time to create the Azure AR. That's why I created into the before. So then go to the author. Next step is create linked service. Next step is create link. Actually we have to copy the data from MS SQL server 2, one copy into the Azure SQL and one copy into the ADLS Gen2. Here how many linked services we have to use this one, we have to create here. Are you sure? So 3 accounts, so you have to three liquid service. It is correct. No. So every account required for the one linked service. So it is the one linked service. Here we are using the one linked service. Here we are using the one linked service. So total is 3 linked services required. Okay, one linked service is on-premise, one linked service is SQL Server, one linked service is ADLS Gen2. Okay, so here we require the 3 linked service. Okay, remember it. Every account required for the one linked service. So go to the manage. In the manage, we have the linked service option. Then click onto the new. Select here into the SQL. So SQL server, it is a on-premise SQL server. Then click on. So I give into the ls underscore ms SQL server. LS means linked service, MS SQL server. Okay. Here we give the, so select the integration runtime into the on-premise, this one. Okay. So this Azure IR means we can copy the, or we can connect the in the public network. That time we are using the Azure AR. If you want to connect the private networks, that time we are using into the self-host AR. Okay, so here the server name. Then come to here. Just simply click on here, connect, or not this one. Not this one. Wait. This is the server name. Just with this paste. Sorry. Then go to the here. Click on this one. So this is the server name. You have to copy this and paste here. And here the database. So which database we have to get the data? So we have it the database name called. So this whatever all the tables contain database name is AHA. So we have to give the database name is AHA. Okay. 1 minute. Okay. Then here the authentication mode is type is a. So we have a two options: Windows authentication mode and also the SQL Server authentication mode. So here we have to use into the SQL Server authentication mode. Here the username means how to find the username means simply how to come here, go to the this tab. No, I don't want these tabs. I just close this one. Just come to here. Select system user. Now run this one. So this is the our username. Copy this, come here, paste here, and give the password. So when you Windows lock, we just click on one and we can open that, right? So that's one, that thing. And here you have to select the Windows authentication mode. Sorry, Windows authentication mode. Then give these things. SQL authentication mode means if you connect, when you connect this one, you have to use into the here the authentication mode, SQL authentication, right? So that things we have to give here. So we keep giving to the user. So there is a text connection. Just click on text connection. First authentication type is Windows authentication type, and username Windows username, and password is a. So whatever we can enter and or log into the in the desktop. So give that password. So it is connection is successful. Then create. Okay, so it is done. Next one is we have to create a one more link to Azure SQL. Azure SQL. So this is the Azure SQL Server database. Then create. So ls underscore Azure SQL. Then you have to click on select into the server name. Then select into the database name, which database of migrate data. And you have to give into the VK with the password. Then you give text connection. If you do anything here mistake, that time it is failed. Okay. So for example, here I give into the like when you test connection, it is not, it is failed. Okay. So that's why take it. Then create. Okay. So this step also completed. Next one is we have a one more data source also. So that one is ADLS GEN2. So type GEN2 here, click on this one and ls underscore ADLS GEN2. Gen2. Okay. Then you have to select the account, text connection, create. Okay. So the linked service part is done. Next step is we just go to the next step is this one also done, this one also done. Next one is create data set. Actually, here the how many tables here? How many tables? So 5 tables, right? We have to copy these 5 tables into the one location. Is the one location is the ADLS Gen2, and one location is Azure SQL. Okay. So here, how to do this one? So how many data sets we can create here? Yes, anyone to tell how many data sets? Only one data set. It is possible for the three locations. How? So at least here we required into the 3 data sets. So it is the one data set, and this one is the one data set, and this one is the one data set. And also so actually we are using the parameters, right? Yes or no? Whatever you said, 3 data sets means parameters required, right? Okay. So parameters also required. We have to create a one more data set. That data set containing the whatever the table names, this this whatever the table names in this database, that information we can get. That is called one data set. Okay. Total here required into the 4 data sets. If you want anything add new one, we just create that one. Okay. Then go to the here. Okay. So next we have to go to the data set. So here, so actually we have a 5 table in the database. So this database containing the 5 tables: country, and device, fact, and gender, and subscription. We have to copy these 5 tables from the data source to one copy in ADLS Gen2, another copy in Azure SQL. Okay, we have to copy here. So this time we are using into the data. Here we are using the data sets. So one is the data source, and one is the first target data source, and other one is the next one target data source. Here we have a 5 tables, right? So we have to give this five table names. So here we have to create a one more table. So that table containing the select start from information schema dot tables. Here we get some table names. Okay, so I just prepared the table name code where table name containing the like operator. I just use the like operator here. Percentage table percentage here. So we are see this one only for this table, and also fact table also, and also not on. We have to use the R table name equal to fact table. So this time we have to see all the table. So here we just add the table name as name. So here we have to create a one table. TN, table name called TN. So we just execute this one. We have to see all the 5 table names list-wise. Select star from TN table name. Now execute. So see this one. So name, country table, device table, and subscription table, and a fact table, and gender table. We have one activity. That activity called lookup activity. So that lookup activity, what we did here, we have to get the one table, whatever the information that table. So that table convert that data convert into the array type. array type. So contain name into the, so one array, and second one is the device. So this one we have to convert. Just see this one. First we have to go to the portal. Then first we have to create a one data set, SQL server. Select the SQL server here, continue, and give the data source on SQL on lookup. So then select the linked service. Then you have to, here we are using into the parameters. Okay, so then click OK. So actually, without using parameter, we have to copy the first country table. Next one is device table, fact table, gender table, subscription table. It can take it a long time. So we have to create a single pipeline, and we can copy all the data from the data source to data sink. Come to here. Okay, so that is completed. So then go to the new pipeline. So pipeline name I give into the, copy the data from MS SQL server to ADLS GEN2. Okay, so first we have to use into the lookup activity. This lookup activity to the retrieve the data from the table. This lookup activity, by using use lookup activity, read the lookup activity can retrieve the a data set from the any type of data source supported by the data factory and the data synapse. So here, come to here. So then go to the settings, and then you have to select the lookup that data set name. So here we have a only for first row. So we have to execute. First we have to select into that first row, then execute. So wait a second. So we have to give the source details here. And once it is completed, we have to see the output details. So see this one. The first row name is country table. Okay. So for example, here we don't select the first row. Just disable this one. Then you have to run this one. So that time we have to get the whatever this table containing the table names. All the table names we have to see into the array type. All the table names we have to see into the array type. So see this one. So just go to here. See the name called country table, name device table. So see all the records, names, subscription, name, fact table, gender. So by using lookup, we have to retrieve the data from the data set. It is converted into the list of the names into the array type of array format of the rows, like JSON format. Okay, so this is the first thing. Next one is this lookup activity we have to copy into the source. So then you have to use into the, so we have a 5 tables, right? So directly we don't copy activity. We have to use the for each activity. For each. So what is the use of the for each activity? Run the inside activity multiple times. So this for each activity. See this one. It is used to for each activity define the repeat the control flow. Okay, so whatever the we have to add the here. So I just add into the one simple wait activity here. Okay, I just 1 second, then go to the here. We have to run this one. So number of times. Okay, wait. Before we have to configuration the for each activity. So for each, select the for each activity, then go, they have the some tabs. So general tab and also the settings. We have to this subsequently select this one and items, then click on go the dynamic and select the activity at dot value. Okay, then click OK. Now, then it is done. Next, you have to go to the here. I just add the wait activity and go back. Now we have to the debug this one. That wait activity run the, so whatever the count you have. So five tables, right? 5 times that wait activity is running. Simply I just telling, just understand the concept. So first we have to run the lookup activity. They have these some watermarks. First one is on skip. Next one is on success. So next one is fail. So see this one. So this lookup activity, we get the, so whatever the table names, the table containing the, that table names retrieve. Next one is this for each activity, run the number of times. Actually here the count is 5. Okay. Actually here the total, the wait activity run into the 5 times. See this one. Okay. Next, you have to go to the active edit icon and delete this edit wait. Then you have to add into the copy activity. Here, they give the some requirements. What they give, migrate the data from MS SQL server to Azure SQL ADLS Gen2. They don't here. He cannot mention the any transformation. He said just copy the data from MS SQL server to ADLS Gen2. That thing. So go to here. So before, then go to this source. Here we have to configure the source and sink. First, what is the source? MS SQL server is it is a source and sink is a ADLS 10.2. Okay, then go to the source. Then click onto the new. Select the SQL server. Then continue. Then give the ds underscore MS SQL MS SQL underscore table. I give into the table. So next you have to select the linked service, whatever we have to create in previous. Then here, don't select the table names here. Okay. Then click OK. Click OK. Wait, they have the one more configuration. Go to data set, click onto the data set. In the data set, click onto the edit icon. The schema name is DBO. So schema name is DBO. See this one. So whatever the in the schema names here, DBO. So that's why we mentioned to the DBO here. And the table name is here dynamically change the values. Actually, so for example, you have a one table. So that time you have to give that table name. So, but it is here, we have to dynamically change the table name. So that's why I click onto the dynamic content. First, you have to add the parameters. So I give into the parameters underscore MS SQL underscore table name. Okay, it is a parameter link. Then click on to this, save this one and select this parameter. Just one time you have to select, then click OK. That parameter configuration. And also we have to create a one more data set here. So the data set name is ADLS Gen2. Select the Azure data like Gen2. Then you have to select the which type of file format. So do you want the binary format or CSV files, text files? So by using CSV file, we can reduce the size of the data model. So that's why I select this CSV file. Okay. And the target data source on Gen2. Target data source on Gen2. It is this Gen2. I just use it just only for this one. So select the Gen2 and first as the headers. Don't select anything here. Click OK. We have to select in here. So here we have to select into the file system and directory. Then go to the browse and select the backup. and select the dim tables. Click OK. Here the table name is dynamically add the table name, right? So then we have to go to the dynamic, click on here. So I give into the p underscore gen2 underscore table name. Okay. So don't give anything default values here. Just click on to save, select this one, click OK. So this part also done. Next, you have to go to this one, and here go to the copy activity. So see this one. Whenever you have to create in dataset level parameter, come there. Okay, same also sync also you have to select into the that one. Okay, there is a one dynamic value. Here you have to pass the value. That value called, go to the add a content. So for each item, so for each item activity dot name. So this name, where we get this name. So then click OK. Wait a second. Go to the sync. So add the dynamic content item dot name. Okay. Then you have to add the name. Click OK. Okay. Now, wait. You have to come to the first. We have to test anyone. So go to the here settings. So select first only. I select into the first row only. I just checking it is working or not. So I just repeated steps. Just debug this one. First one, you have to configuration the lookup, and second one is for each. This for each, you have to configuration the just settings. You have to add into the lookup output value. Then go to the activities. Here, the activities, you have to click on this one. See this one, this copy activity I just added here inside the activity. So here I just add the source in MS SQL Server. Sync is this one. Okay. So when you click onto the source, like table name, when you click onto the item table name, then go to the come to here. See the, oh, wait. Here I'm getting the error. Like, wait. So in this case, we have a table name, right? Table name. Copy this name. Come to here. Go to the here. The name. Click OK. Same as source also. Okay. Then click OK. Here one more thing. In the dataset level, Gen2 dataset come here. So here we have to change one thing here. They have the double quotes. We have to change into the single quote. Okay, then go to the copy activity. Then come to this one here. Now we have to debug this one. Wait. Actually, here we did one small thing here. So don't select the first row only. And so that thing I just missed this one. Then debug this one. So here the first thing is lookup is running perfectly. So see this one, get the table names. Then it is count is total count, table count is 5. Okay, so this activities runs 5 times. Okay, so it is perfectly run. We have to check that one into the go to here. So go to the dim table. Then we have to the refresh. See this one. Two tables copied. First one is country table and device table. We have to click on this one and view here. See this one. So country ID and table name. Okay. So see, select into the okay. So country name and country ID, country name. We have to copy this here, and all the remaining also 5 tables also copy here. Okay. So first one is done. Okay. So next one is we have to using copy the data from so MS SQL Server to Azure SQL Server. Then come to here. So first we have to create into the one more data set. The data set name called SQL Azure SQL. Select the Azure SQL here. Click on here and go to the here into the target data source on Azure SQL. So here, so then go to, don't select any table here, then click OK. So in this Azure SQL Server, you have to the edit, enable this one and add the schema name, EBO, and that table name is add the dynamic content. Just click on here. So table names parameter is target data source on Azure. I give into the Azure SQL table names. Wait a second. So then give this one and save. Select the parameter name. Click OK. Okay. So then go to the create a one more pipeline. So that pipeline name called copy data from MS SQL SQL to Azure SQL. Okay. So once it is done, just simply have same steps, whatever you have to same lookup. So see this one is all are done. So go to the blob, see this one ADLS GEN2 and refresh. All the table is copied from the here, 5 tables. Okay, then go to the here. So same as, so copy this first lookup and this one, copy this and you have to copy both. If you need it, you have to copy the both. Copy first, come here, Control C is copy and paste here. So this one is paste. Okay, here we don't change anything. We just change one thing. So same lookup activity, same settings, same table, lookup table, and also the same thing. Then go to the for each. Don't change anything here. Also activity. So settings also we have to use like this, and go to the activity. In this activity also, go to here activity. We have to change the condition here. So we have to copy. Now we have to copy the source is same MS SQL Server, but sync is we have to change the ADLS. Sorry, we have to change ADLS to Azure SQL Server. So we have to select this TDC Gen2 to Azure SQL. Okay. So here the parameter is there now. Same come to here, copy this whatever the code we have, right? Copy the item dot name and same as sync also. Add the dynamic content. Here also paste. Both are same. Nothing to change anything. Then click OK. Okay. So once we have to done this one, come down here. We have to auto create a table. Auto create a table. Okay. This option you have to enable. So why means in that Azure SQL we don't have a tables. So that's why we have to add the auto create a table. Next one down. Okay, then don't select anything here. Simply we just debug. Just only we can change the in that we cannot change anything lookup and for each we cannot change anything. So but inside the activity in the pencil I can click onto the edit. This thing we have to change the data sources. Data source is as MS SQL Server and data sync is the Azure SQL Server. Here we can change only for this thing, and we have to add the parameter here. Okay, and we have to select inside the here the auto create table. Okay, so or you have to add the wait a second. This auto created table dot name. Click OK. So table option. Table option means table is created. Okay. So once this thing is done, okay, now we have to run this pipeline. Just debug this. If in case any errors, we can work that one. First is lookup is running. Next one is for each. First we have to test. So first we have to go to the here azure.portal.com in this thing. Sorry, this one. So here we don't have any table now, but created one by one table here. Wait. So see this one. First one is success. We have to get the names, country table, device table, and subscription table, fact table, all those things. So here the total count is 5. Okay. Wait, it is not working. Think. So this one is failed. Wait a second. Where did I mistake? Oh, here I'm doing the wrong way. So here, so in the copy activity, we have to select the auto create table. Don't select the dynamic content. So that time, so what it is think. So here, so if in case any tables in that database at that time, we can use the dynamic content. So there is no any tables that time we can use into the auto create table. So this one thing we did a mistake in that cases. So only for this one. So it is run for it now it is running. See this one. So two tables is copy. Here we have a 3 icons. First one is input. So what is the input source? So source type and how many time it can take. So that thing. And we have a output icon also. See this one. This is called output icon. So here so how much of time, read time, and data written, those things. And so in this output, we have to read into so total read rows and copy rows and duration, all those things. So we have a one glass icon. So see this one. So here, so we can see the source and also the database and so sync and here so what type of rows there is the 4 rows. We have to copy that 4 rows. So those things information. So come to the Azure SQL. Here, just refresh this one. Click onto the refresh button. Now you can see the table names, whatever the country table and device table. Just click on here. See this one. So there is a country table information. Okay, so all the data we can migrate, copy from here. So next one, so just check all the pipeline. So it is successfully, so whatever the, we have a tables, all the table is copied perfectly. Next one is, so we have to done, if in case, whenever data copy from the, so we have to copy from the lookup and for each. Then once we have to migrate from the MS SQL server data, so sorry, MS SQL server to Azure SQL server, then we have to the migrate from the ADLS chain. Otherwise, we cannot migrate. So that's why we are using into the, so first this pipeline is run, second pipeline. Next one is this pipeline run. So here we have a option execute pipeline option they have. So we can use into the before the lookup activity. Okay, so here we have to the, in this lookup activity, we have to setting option execute. I mean, in this execute means we have to execute first, next one, this one. So select the that pipeline name. So this one, pipeline name is select. So then that is, they have the four options. So first one is on skip, and next one is on success. Here is the fail, and next one is completion. So we have to the, so we have to, whenever this pipeline is executed, then this pipeline, next one is executed. Then you have to add the one success. Next, we have to click on the relationship. Okay, so whenever you have to run this one, so that time, so it is happens like first this pipeline is executed, then this two pipeline is, otherwise next one executed. So those are things. So once this thing is completed, I just cancel this one. I don't waste time. So cancel. So we have to perform the all these steps like create a pipeline and a configuration activity and a text. Test means it is running perfectly or not, with checking. Okay. So finally we have to create a triggers. Triggers means we have to use triggers automatically run the pipeline. So automatically run the pipeline without human interaction. Without human interaction, we can automatically pipeline is run. That time we use the triggers. So there are three type of triggers: scheduling triggers, tumbling window triggers, and second one is event based triggers. So already in that in this drive, I said into the all the whatever the scheduling triggers, whatever the tumbling window triggers in the components. I explain this those information. So come to here. Okay. So next one we have to the here add the triggers. Just go to come to here, click on here, and a trigger now means now is triggering. So otherwise we have to click on create new trigger. So I just create a, just click on new trigger. I just give this some time. So I give into the copy. Mm, okay. But I give into the 9 a.m. or every 1 hour. So every 24 hours, those things like we can create. So here we have to select the schedule triggering. So start time and time zone. So we are in and right IST. Sorry, IST plus. We have into the Chennai Kolkata time zone. So here you have to give into the, so hours or weeks. I give into the every day one time. Okay, every one day. So just give the one, and like every day one time can triggering. So here you have to give the, so what time to trigger hours. So those information. So I give into the every day at 2 to 22 hour. Sorry, 23 hours 50. So here I pass this some timing. So specify the end date. So starting, and we can specify the end date also. So whenever last triggering date, we have to specify that thing also. So I give into the like this timing means, so whenever not used that information, so that time I just use this one. So then click OK. Just click OK. So once triggers is completed, next step is we have to the publish. So whatever we have to create all those things, we have to publish. So then publish. So whatever we have to create into the in this in this pipeline or in this Azure Data Factory, data sets, linked services. Next one is manage service. All those things into the publish into the um, production. Next one, go to the monitor. So first one, author is completed. All this publish. Then go to the author monitor. In this monitor, we have to be monitoring the pipelines, so like which pipeline is triggering. So debugging case, then refresh here. So see the whatever the like all the information. Okay, debug or whenever the trigger is run. So that information also we can see the pipeline name, runs, end time. So and also the we can in that videos we have a in whenever the pipeline is failed, how to send the alerts from the so that owners that information also the videos having. Okay, so and also the if in case any null values and also the how to copy the derived columns, multiple copy from parameters, variables, and multiple those information available into the Azure ADF data factory. So here, so our aim is our agenda point in this part is migrate the data from MS SQL Server to Azure SQL and also the ADLS Gen2 using the ADF. So that one is completed. See this one. So whatever in the tables we have they're into the 5 tables. We have to connect this. Here we have to connect the Azure SQL also, right? We have to click on refresh this and can take some time to refresh. Then go to the database, expand the database. So when the refresh is done, so click on to here databases, KKPBT. Here see the table names, whatever the table names we have, we can see in this part. So we have to see the here. So here we have to right click and use into the top 10 and 100 rows. We can read the data, whatever we have to copy. So it is the above one is a MS SQL server. Next one below one is a Azure SQL server. We can see this one and we can analyze the data. So for example, so here we have to add into the select star from countries table. So countries table information, and I want to and also the select star from fact table. So we can read the fact table information also. And also so for example, we have to analyze the data. For example, so I want to see the country name wise total monthly revenue. Country name wise total monthly revenue. So here we have to add select so country. So in the country table containing the country name. So this is the country name. So C dot country name, comma, sum of so revenue table containing the fact table containing the revenue data. So add this one. So F dot revenue as total revenue from countries table. We have to add into the left to join. So country table let's name is C and left to join we have to add into the fact. So it is called F. So on C dot. So we have so these two tables so matching with the country ID. C dot country ID equal to F dot country ID. Okay, now we have to execute these things. Oh, wait. Here we are using the aggregation, right? We have to use the group by c dot country name. Okay, now see this one. Somewhere is mistake. Think. Oh, wait. Here the monthly revenue is the two letters. We have a only for giving it like this. So now run this one. So we have to see the, so whatever the country names information wise total revenue. Okay, India revenue and Mexico revenue. We can analyze the data and United Kingdom's revenue. So those information. So we can analyze that thing. So that's it. And also the for the backup, we have to add the ADLS Gen2 also. Then go to the here Azure Data Factory in this ADL backup data. You can see this one country table and device table, fact table, all the table information also we can set into the this one. So whatever they give into the migrate the data from the data from the MS SQL server to ADLS Gen2 and Azure SQL server. So this one is second part. Next part we have to discuss on Power BI side, as in like how to create a Power BI report using the Azure SQL server and create a data model and data modeling, analyzing the data. So then we have to create a different pages, those information. So thank you. Here, if you anyone needed the data set, simply I just pin the comment in that data set link. Go to this website link. So this website, I just pin the comment box. So go to this one. Data set is available into the data set link is available into the here. So this cost data set cost is 1,000 rupees. Just click on this link. You have to get the access. Thank you. Thank you all.